So I'm going to talk about vertical ducts here, and historically, for this class and for integrative, the vertical chases and vertical ducts have proven to be a headache. And so what I'm gonna show you is a way to just literally cartoon it. We just need to get this stuff into place. And so I'm going to show a very, very quick method to putting in a vertical duct. So that we can sort of connect these things. So here I have an instance of an AHU at the roof, right? This would serve basically the entire building except for a few maybe areas like the lobby or something like that. But what I need to do is I need to have a chase that connects here to this duct. So I'm going to go to the roof plan. Let's go to the roof structural floor plan. You can turn on the scope box again. Let's zoom in here, and here is my my AHU. Now, with these AHUs, you can actually select this icon, and you can actually create a duct from here. I don't really like that method, but it does work. You just have to pay attention to where this is being placed. Sometimes this will be placed on 3 feet above. So what you'll have to do then is just go to Systems, Duct, and place a duct. Probably align it to where it needs to be at the bottom of this this outlet here. So we need a duct to go down here, and in the past video I showed you how to make a section here. Let's go to a ground view. I turned the section the other way so I can see basically where this chase is going, and this is the section. Right now we can see the edge of that duct, and we can see the beginning of this duct. Now this is a 4x4 duct, 48 by 48, and you want your chases probably to be 48 by 48 because there's going to be a lot of air going through them. So I'm going to go ahead, and in this vertical view, you can do this in an elevation, you can do this in pretty much any view. I'll show you what you can try to do, and if that doesn't work, we're just going to quickly draw this and get it into place. So let's go ahead, and whenever you go over a grid, a duct, you can see that it wants to snap to usually the center point or the end points, and sometimes there will be a circle with an X through it, and that will be the middle of the duct. Typically this automatically connect is on. I would try that first, and here I'm just going to go directly into the duct. Now it will do something pretty wonky, and if we go into the 3D view here, you can see that it's really doing something wonky, and this stuff doesn't always work. So this was actually fairly successful, but what you can do instead is let's go to our section view. Let's draw in a duct. Let's get it to be about the right proportion, and then I'm going to use the align tool, and I'm going to align the top of this duct with the top of the exterior duct. Whoops, that's the wrong one. I need to hover over that, and then I'm going to align the bottom of this to the bottom of that. And now if we go into 3D view, you can see I have a vertical duct, and it's not in the right place, but now we can go into our ground view, and we can literally just move this so that the midpoint sort of reaches the midpoint. And it won't try to connect that there, but now we know that we have a chase, right? This is a vertical duct going up and down, and you would probably frame this out. So what typically happens in mechanical floor plans is if you have a chase, there would actually be concrete or a slab around it, and this would get framed out with a little bit extra room for flex in the building and also for insulation. But this is probably the easiest way to get this done. Now you just sort of have to wiggle things in place, right? Let's go ahead and change this to a medium view, and I'll go ahead and change it to shaded so we can kind of see what's going on here. And again, you could just use the align tool and align these ducts. So here, let's go to a 3D view, and you can also pull this back now. So let's go to the section view, align. We can align the back of this. Probably have to pull this out with that, right? And you would probably have a little bit of extra for pressure differential. But that's totally fine. This would be a totally acceptable method. Now I want to show you what you can do and where the problems start to happen. Let's go back to a roof view here, and if I try to connect this duct to this duct, You'll see it will do it successfully here. Actually, if we go to a 3D view, this is just a tap, right? But if I wanted an elbow here, I can also drag this to this, and it will sort of draw the elbow in. Now this one was pretty easy. This is probably what was realistically going to happen, right? You can change this radius to a 1, and that's essentially, you know, what's going to happen in real life. But the difficulty becomes right here, where these two connect. So let's go to our section view, and let's pull this back up. And now let's try to connect these two things to each other. And here, this one is fine. It actually draws that in correctly, but this fitting might not always work out. Now if I change this, let's say to 3 by 3, and now I go to my section view, you can see we might have some more problems. Let's just try to connect to the center line here, and nope, that's still fine. Here's where it starts to get a little bit weird, right? When you don't have things perfectly lined up. So I guess in summary for the chases, what you need to focus on first are getting the duct in place, and then trying and connecting the equipment to it. On the roof, there's generally a lot of sort of weird routing that happens here, because you're going to have to place both a return and a supply duct. So here you can see it's not necessarily connecting. And that has to do probably with the fittings, right? So whenever you get those sort of errors, you just sort of have to do a guess and check by pulling the ducts out. Then we can right-click here, create similar, and try to create something that will work. See, there's no auto route solution. So this is the error that I was trying to show you. This happens very, very often, and that's totally fine. You just have to sort of play with it, push it, pull it, try to get it to work. If it doesn't auto route like this, see there you can see that I needed the width of the duct to be able to place the radius. You can also change this back to 1. And you can sort of wiggle it around. But the alternative method is just literally use the align tool and you know, pop these things into place, and that's a totally acceptable version. So I hope that helps with the duct connection and the vertical connections as well. Go create a section view, just draw a duct in, make sure it's part of the right system, so either return or supply. Make sure it's the right size. You don't even have to worry about the justification so much, because you can go into one of your views and you can move this into place using the move tool or the align tool, and that's how we'll get this done.